Good morning and welcome from wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for coming for the third traceability event, which this year again is virtual, and we hope that we'll be able to interact with you for the next 3 days. We are grateful that you're able to join us and would like to really have you encourage us and join us and chat as much as you can. So this 3-day activity is going to have different conversations all the way from retail, healthcare, and many other sectors that GS1 would like to get to show you. Before I proceed or before we continue with this, it would not be very nice if we do not invite the CEO and the board chair of GS1 Kenya, Mr. Peter Otieno, to come and introduce and welcome you to Traceability Week.
Good morning, everybody. It's a nice year, a nice month, it's a nice day, it's a nice week. We are glad to have you, all of us here, and to see what you're going to do this year. We've prepared a lot of interesting stories, interesting discussions, and I would like to encourage all of you to take part. Why traceability? I'm not going to spoil the day by telling you what is traceability. I believe the team who is going to tell you the next 3 days what traceability is all about. But what I'll say, prepare yourself for traceability systems. Prepare yourself to embrace and implement traceability in your companies. This is the only way you reach the global market where there's money and there's need for us to do that. Kenyan products have known to be of good quality. We believe for us to make this one work, we must embrace traceability so that at least the people we are going to supply, wherever they are in the world, can actually track back where the goods came from and they give a good compliment. I believe this next 3 days is going to be very interactive, and more so, I will encourage you to take part. Please learn. It is a better, more advanced in terms of the content prepared this year compared to the last 2 years. I hope to see you on the third day to close and get to hear more from you. Thank you very much and karibuni, and please enjoy. Let me declare this training officially open.
Good morning, and thank you to our General Manager, Eva Bunyu, and our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Peter Otieno, for that wonderful introduction to Traceability Week and starting the stage so powerfully. This week, we have an array of insights and informative information that we are really ready to produce to you and give to you so that you can be able to dive deep into the world of traceability. So you've had it, whether you are from the retail sector, healthcare sector, agribusiness sector, manufacturing, and even transport. This week is for you, and I hope that you are ready to dive deep into the world of traceability. So just to start us off, I will be giving you some session etiquette. We would prefer if you switch to speaker view so that you can have a better experience throughout the week. And at the same time, you have kindly rename your name on the screen as that has been displayed, and you'll be able to interact even better. I'll give you a few minutes. follow the steps that have been displayed on your screen, and you'll be able to have an even better experience. Okay, now to kick us off, we have our first presenter. His name is Ian Mageto. He lives and breathes data, the kind of data that transforms supply chains, informs business decisions, and drives innovation. Our first presenter is Ian Mageto, the data and research businesses through the digital transformation of product identification from traditional 1D barcodes to the next frontier, 2D barcodes. In today's session, titled Evolution from 1D to 2D codes, Ian will walk us through the why, the how, and what's next. He'll unpack the key benefits, the implementation strategies, and even the challenges that businesses face when adopting 2D. So if you've ever wondered what those QR codes are look like symbols on your packaging, what they really mean, or more importantly, how they can future-proof your business, you're in the right place. So please help me welcome Ian Mageto.
GS1 operates under the GS1 competition law caution. Strict compliance with competition laws is and always has been the policy of GS1. The best way to avoid problems is to remember that the purpose of the group is to enhance the ability of all industry members to compete more efficiently. This means there shall be no discussion of prices, allocation of customers or products, boycotts, refusals to deal, or market share. If any participant believes the group is drifting towards impermissible discussion, the topic shall be tabled until the opinion of counsel can be obtained. The full caution is available via the link below if you'd like to read it in its entirety.
Thank you, Marianne, for the good introduction. I'll be taking you through the evolution from 1D to 2D barcode. To start us off, allow me to share a brief history of barcodes.
It starts back about 50 years. We just celebrated the 50-year anniversary of the GTIN. In about 1971, a group of industry members came together because they wanted to try to solve for product identification. And by 1973, they came up with the GTIN, which is the Global Trade Item Number, the standards for that. And then, very exciting, we had the first barcode scan of that GTIN in 1974, June 26th. It was a pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit Gum in a Marsh's supermarket store.
Thank you so much for watching the video. We have been transforming the global supply chain for 51 years, and these are some of the questions that you have been getting from our stakeholders. We'll start with the brand owners. They're asking, why can the point of sale barcode also support my mobile consumer applications? From the patients, they're asking, why can't I scan the barcode to get information on drug interactions? On the property managers, they ask, can I use a barcode on building components to certify code compliance? Transport and logistic providers, they ask, why can't I use a barcode to carry small messages as for transport applications? The GS1 member organizations come together asking themselves, how can industry migrate to one common capability over time? From both the government regulators and non-governmental regulators, they ask, should we use standards as the basis of new regulations? Our esteemed retailers ask, why have 2D capabilities if I must turn off to avoid point-of-sale performance issues? Our consumers, your consumers, which barcode do I use for checkout and which one to get more information? All these questions we'll get to answer as we proceed. As you have learned from our history, we have the 1D barcode. The 1D barcodes were just the beginning. They supported the early supply chain, especially in retail revolution. The 1D barcode are very common on retail and they're being used on various products. Their time was revolutionary, but limited. Here are some of the disadvantages we encountered with the 1D barcode. It holds low data capacity, which means that it only holds the human readable data. There's no support for dynamic or variable data. Here, the 1D barcode cannot be updated on live data. There's limited interoperability. In this case, the 1D barcode can only be used on specific equipments. In this case, we only use it on scanners and retail. Illustrated are the current 1D barcodes. We will start with the EAN UPC. EAN is the European Article Number. UPC is the Universal Product Code. The EAN UPC is the current standard being used on retail barcodes. It holds product unique ID. These are the GTIN-8, which is used on small products, the GTIN-12, which is a 12-digit number barcode, and GTIN-13, which is mostly used on retail, which is a 13-digit number barcode. Illustrated, the diagram holds a 13-digit number, which is GTIN-13. It also enables the point of sale scanning. On to the next, we have the ITA 14, interleaved 2 of 5 14-digit number barcode. Illustrated is a box that has been used with ITA 14. The ITA 14 is mostly used on cartons and boxes. It entails a 14-digit number. It is ideal for secondary packaging, mostly on warehousing for inventory purposes. Another type of the 1D barcode that has been really helpful in the transport and logistics sector is the GS1 128. The GS1 128, after scanning, it entails various attributes. It contains product batch number, expiry dates, net weight of the product, the serial shipping container code, and order details of the client. The GS1 128 has application identifiers, which shows what the data entails in a structured way. The 1D barcode has been really impactful in various sectors. In the video that I'll be illustrating, I'll be showing you the next generation of GS1 barcodes.
50 years ago, the barcode taught cash registers around the world how to talk. Since then, the characteristic beeping at the checkout and the barcode on the product packaging have become indispensable. And now, it's time for a forward-looking upgrade. With the next generation GS1 barcodes, everyone gets the information they need in the right place at the right time, regardless of whether the scan takes place at the supermarket shelf, at the checkout, or in the dispatch center. Why the upgrade? Due to the increased need for information, the established barcodes can no longer keep up. That's why the QR code powered by GS1 is ushering in a new barcode era. While the previous barcodes only contained the global trade item number, this multifunction QR code can display significantly more information. For example, information on origin, expiry dates, batch and serial numbers, and much more. With a new barcode, it is possible to show different content depending on the context and user. The retailer can discount products directly at the checkout. For example, the expiry date has been reached or the promotional goods are sold. This multifunction QR barcode makes it just as easy for logistics staff to check delivery details, while customers in the shop can use the same code to find out, for example, what features a product has and whether it has been produced sustainably. And when you get home, you can continue straight away. With just one scan, The operating instructions are at hand, service addresses for repairs, or at a later date, information on the correct disposal of the product can be found. Incidentally, the information stored is not set in stone, but can be exchanged and adapted at a later date without having to change the code on the packaging. This is because the code lives as long as the product. The QR code powered by GS1 thus creates completely new possibilities. For example, it simultaneously provides prices and data at the scanner checkout and during order picking, links information for end consumers, and is a marketing channel for personalized special offers and advertising, all in a single code. Great added value with significantly smaller space requirements. The QR code powered by GS1 will be available for reading at retail checkouts by the end of 2027. Industry and retail can already switch to the new barcode generation and revolutionize the user experience along the entire value chain with GS1.
Thank you for watching the video. That is our next generation of barcode, which is the GS1 2D barcodes. The 2D barcode stores data both horizontally and vertically using patterns of squares or dots. I hope you all are familiar with the QR code. The 2D barcode, it can be scanned by cameras on your phones or the 2D scanners for faster, richer data capture. You can also use other applications like the barcode scanner. This is the future of the 2D barcode. Moving on, we have different types of GS1 2D barcode. We have the QR code. The GS1 QR code illustrated on the screen is made up of various patterns of squares and dots. The human readable number that you see below, this is helpful whenever the QR code is tampered with. Beside the QR code, you can see the strawberry jam. The strawberry jam has been embedded with the GS1 QR code. Some of the advantages of the GS1 QR code, it enhances consumer interaction. Through a simple scan, the consumer can verify the product, see various ingredients, or allergens. Assuming you are the consumer, after scanning the QR code, you'll be able to see various ingredients used to make the strawberry jam. And basically, this also includes the strawberries. There are consumers who may be allergic to the chemicals being used on the strawberry jam or the strawberry itself. All these details are visible in the strawberry jam. It has enhanced brand visibility as it supports promotion, where the manufacturer can include other products that they have or their upcoming products. It has enhanced marketing and digital certifications details. We also have dynamic content, which has been improved by the use of the QR code, as it supports various data and instant updates. For the dynamic content, you can include instructions of your product, either how to use your product or how to cook your product when it comes to the food that you eat. An example is rice. You can include instructions on how to cook rice. Also, you can see the date of expiry of the rice. Another advantage for the GS1 QR code, we have the retail and digital use. It is ideal for omnichannel retail. This is because the GS1 2D barcode is ideal because it has consistent product information across various channels, and it holds rich quality data Another type of 2D barcode is the GS1 data matrix, which is commonly being used in the pharmaceutical sector. On screen, you can see medicine and you can see some numeric data. The data in brackets is the application identifiers. Application identifier is a prefix that tells what kind of data follows. 01, it explains that that's a GT number that follows. 10 explains that's the batch number of that particular drug. AI17 explains that's the expiry date of that particular drug. The first 2 digits is the year of the manufacturing. The second 2 digits is the month the drug was manufactured, and the last 2 digits is the date the drug was manufactured. Lastly, 21, the application identifier explains the serial number of the particular drug. All this is visible after scanning the data matrix. The data matrix has been very impactful in the pharmaceutical sector. It is compact and powerful as it fits on small products like syringes, vials, and electronics. It can hold more data, whereby after scanning the syringe, you can know where the syringe was used at, or if it has been used. Secondly, it encodes multiple data elements. As I've explained before, I've touched on various attributes. You can see the GT number, the batch number, expiry date of the drug, and the serial number for traceability purposes. Error correction is visible upon scanning, even when the data matrix has been tampered with or distorted. Lastly, the data matrix is the key in healthcare and pharmaceutical sector, as it has also helped doctors or nurses to know which doctor was in the previous shift, which doctor is coming in the next shift, and the drug that has been used on that particular patient, also the food that they might have taken. You have been able to learn about the 2D barcode. You have seen the various types of the 2D barcode. We have the QR code, we have the data matrix. There have been of impact globally, and here are some of the global successes of GS1 2D barcode. In Australia, it has been implemented on Woolworth, and the QR code has enhanced food safety, reduced waste, and boost supply chain transparency and consumer engagement. They tend to receive feedback from their consumers, and here is a product that one of the products from GS1 Australia. After scanning, the consumer is also told if the packaging is recyclable or not. They can know if the food is of nutrients to them or not. In Japan, it has also been helpful that they are utilizing the GS1 data matrix. I said before, the GS1 data matrix is mostly used in the pharmaceutical sector. And in Japan, they're using it to trace surgical and dental instruments that they have in their hospitals. One of the hospitals is the Tokyo Medical and Dental University Hospital. All these case studies are available, and you can go through them to learn how the 2D barcode has been an impact to them. To be part of a success story, we request you to work with us through the transition phase. Currently, we are using the linear barcode or the 1D barcode. That is the data carrier that is currently approved for use within GS1 standards. In the transition, we urge you and inform you to implement the QR code. Have both the QR code and the linear code both embedded on your products. This is the dual marking transition phase that embraces current and future data carriers as required. Our future goal is to have every member having implemented the QR code. By around 2027, every company that will be coming to GS1 will be urged to implement the QR code. And by 2030, we believe that we will have achieved our goal. Currently, this is the linear barcode I explained. In the transition phase, this is how it will look like when you have both the linear barcode and the 2D barcode implemented on your product. And this is what we urge our members to implement. Our future goal, we would like to have the QR code remaining onto your products. GS1 Kenya is taking part in the transition from 1D to 2D barcode. We have our platform, Hakikisha Bidhaa platform. One way of accessing Hakikisha Bidhaa platform is through our website. Search on Google Hakikisha Bidhaa and click the first link. Our website is mostly being used by retailers. Retailers will be able to search the GTIN code or the barcode number through the platform and be able to see various attributes. An illustration from the screen is the strawberry jam. The retailer will search the GTIN code of the strawberry jam. They'll be able to see the brand name of the strawberry jam. They'll see the product description, which in this case is strawberry jam 500 grams. The global product category, which is given by GS1. The country of sale, in this case, it is Kenya. You can choose East Africa, you can choose Rwanda, Uganda, or even globally. The net content of that particular product. In this case, it is the jam 500 grams. The brand owner, Food Limited, and the data last updated. The field data last updated is there because our QR code is dynamic. You can update data live. We have other attributes like the certificates. The consumer or the retailer can see the certificates of that particular manufacturer. Most cases, it's usually the health certificates. The survey attached, the rate and review, and about the company. Another way of accessing Hakikisha Bidhaa platform, and this happens mostly with our consumers, is through a simple scan of our QR code. Through a simple scan of our QR code, these are the various attributes that they can see. Same case with the website. The GTIN number, the brand name, product description of that particular product, the global product category, the country of sale the manufacturer is focusing on, the net content, and the brand owner. Through a simple scan using the Google Lens or their camera, they can also rate and review the product. The review can either be positive or negative. The negative reviews is to help you improve your products, and the positive review is to keep you going. You can trust us with your data as you are a data company given authority by the Office of the Data Protection. The consumer is able to see the surveys attached by the manufacturer. They can fill it, and all this feedback will be received by the manufacturer. They can see the various certificates explained earlier, and also about the company. Here are some of the benefits of the GS1 2D barcode. We'll start with how it has helped in inventory management. The 2D barcode has helped maintain the fast in, fast out products. Also, through a simple scan, it has improved inventory accuracy and also helped the manufacturer or the person handling the warehouse to know the availability or the location of a particular product. It has reduced paperwork, hence improving freshness and automation in the inventory management. Secondly, it has improved traceability. This is through product authentication, whereby the consumer scans the product using their phone. They scan the QR code. Through the simple scan, the consumer is able to see the ingredients of that particular product, as I illustrated earlier using the strawberry jam. The supply chain visibility, as the consumer is able to interact with the manufacturer, and the retailer is also able to interact with the manufacturer. There's consumer trust, as the consumer will always trust your brand because they can give feedback about your brand. This can either be a positive feedback or the negative feedback. The third benefit of the 2D barcode is safety. It has enhanced safety by preventing sale of expired products. The retailers, while verifying the products, they can tell if the product is expired or not. Also, the consumer, through a simple scan, can give a feedback if the product is spoiled or if this product is bad. This will improve brand integrity. The fourth benefit of the GS1 2D barcode, it has helped consumers after scanning to retrieve the recycling information on how to dispose product packaging or how to recycle the product packaging. Through sustainability, it has enabled circular economy and waste prevention. Fifth, the GS1 2D barcode has improved consumer engagement. As explained before, through a simple scan, the consumer is able to rate and review the product, see some of the recipes of your particular product, access to brand authorized information, see various promotion, and opportunity to engage with the manufacturer. Lastly, the GS1 2D barcode has improved packaging. This is through the consumer being able to see the regulatory compliance and marketing goals on pack are visible and enhanced consumer experience. As GS1 Kenya, we have come up with a strategy to actualize the 1D transition. One of our strategies through member engagement. As GS1, we do have training programs happening every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. During the training, we do tell the members on the benefits and the implementation of the 2D barcodes. We go ahead also do physical engagements where we go to the various companies who are our members and tell them on how the 2D barcode or the QR code is beneficial to them, and also show them on how to download it and implementing it. Secondly, we do have the public awareness. Through public awareness, we hold campaigns through roadshows, and engaging various universities. Last year, we were able to engage various universities, like 4 universities, and held a roadshow in 3 counties. Through the roadshow, we're able to get thousands of scans from the public. Lastly, we do have the collaboration with retailers. In the collaboration with retailers, we do test the point of sale checkout feasibility of the new barcodes and also show them on how they can update their system to enable QR code to be scanned at the point of sale. Through public awareness, illustrated on the screen are some of the photos gotten from our gallery, show you how our sensitization program was. We would urge our members that they implement the 2D barcode, the QR code, and those in the pharmaceutical sector, they can engage us on how to implement the data matrix. The video up next shows you about the 2D barcode. It has infinite possibilities. Thank you.
Nothing beats the excitement of getting your hands on a brand new toy. And when you hear that satisfying beep at the checkout, it's like a green light to take it home with you, right then and there. It's also exciting to show everyone your new toy and help a family friend to send it to a nephew who lives far away. It can be as simple as using a mobile phone to scan the same barcode that went beep at the checkout to find out where to buy one online. That same barcode can be used to learn how and where to recycle the product packaging. But perhaps just as importantly, that one barcode can provide options for a future birthday present, especially when a toy is so loved. You want to be sure that the present you need is available for purchase for the special day. Next generation GS1 barcodes offer new levels of reliable information for the benefit of consumers, businesses, and the planet, all with a simple scan.
Thank you for watching the video, and thank you for your time. I go by the name Ian Nyameta Mageto, Data Quality and Research Executive under Software and Data Department, GS1 Kenya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that powerful and insightful presentation, Ian. That was really amazing.
Thank you.
And now, instead of saying goodbye, we are keeping the conversation going, and we'll take a few moments to go into a little interview where we get to hear more from our presenter and even just a brief segment interview. But before we dive in, a quick reminder to our audience that number one, we do have a YouTube channel called Traceability TV, and all the presentations that will be aired during Traceability Week, and even what you just listened to from Ian Mageto over here will also be shared there on Traceability TV. So please take a few minutes, head down at Traceability TV on YouTube and subscribe, and you'll be able to even share this interview and even more from our presenters to your team or anyone you think may gain from Traceability Week. Secondly, also the chat is open, so go ahead and drop comments or even questions that you may have for Ian. He is ready to answer each and every one of them. And finally, we are using Mentimeter to leave feedback and polls. So I can see that it is on, and kindly just scan the QR code on your screen using your smartphone and engage with us. The first question that you can currently see on your screen is, have you ever scanned a QR code? And I think if you'll be scanning that QR code on your screen, then you have scanned a QR code. So kindly, please engage with us and answer the questions that are being displayed. Just scan the QR code, and you'll be able to take part in the Mentimeter, and we will display the results of your answers at the end of the interview. Now, just to start us off, I will be asking Ian, can you explain and emphasize the transition process from 1D to the 2D?
So the 1D barcode is the linear barcode. Currently, that's what is being used, and it has helped us at the point of sale. And since that's being used at the point of sale, we want to also tell our members that we are urging them that whenever they are downloading the barcode from the system, they should go download the QR code. And while they're sending it to the guys in the artwork, they should tell them that they should have both of them implemented. And we're saying now that we are using the QR code at the point of sale, we'll still be using the linear barcode at the point of sale, and the QR code other purposes that I've explained, that I have explained in my videos.
Okay, thank you. So just a quick reminder, we'd also like you to change to speaker view so that you can be able to have a better experience. You can also engage with the Mentimeter that is currently being displayed on your screen by just scanning the QR code that you have. Also, just a reminder that the chat is open, and if you have any questions for Ian regarding his presentation, the evolution of 1D to 2D barcodes, kindly just type on the comment section and we will answer all and every question that you may have. So our next question will be, can you give us some of the benefits of the 2D barcode?
Okay, thank you for that question, Marianne. One of the benefits of the QR code is consumer engagement. It has helped our members in consumer engagement, whereby the consumer will be able to talk to get in touch with the manufacturer. Through a simple scan, they can rate the product. They can also give a review of the product, and the review can either be positive, negative, or this will be visible from the manufacturer. And then they can also see other attributes, some of them being the ingredients and the allergens that are related to the products specifically. Then they can see the brand owner details, and also when the data was last updated, since our QR code on the barcode is dynamic. We can make live updates without telling you to remove the QR code. Another benefit of the QR code is brand visibility. We have liaised with some of our members who have used the QR code as a marketing tool. They have embedded videos of their short videos, like about 60-second video, 1 minute to 2 minute video, where they get to show their other brands and also their upcoming brands, so that the consumers will be able to know which brand is coming up next, which brand is that they are using. Maybe they have bought the potato crisps. They'll see other different types of crisps. Yeah, that's some of the benefits of the QR code. There are many more I can talk. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I can currently see that we are all engaging with the Mentimeter, so thank you for that. Keep on engaging with us. We have so many questions for you. What is the 1D barcode mainly used for? So you can answer that question so that we can be able to continue interacting. And at the same time, I'd like to remind you that we are live on Traceability TV. So if you would like to go head on down there and watch the interview or even share what is going on right now here at GS1 Kenya Traceability 2025, kindly just head on there on YouTube at Traceability TV. Another reminder is that we will have the presentations we posted on YouTube. So if you'd like to share it with your team, also just go to Traceability TV and subscribe to our channel. And again, our chat box is open. So if you have any question for Ian regarding this presentation or the importance of the 2D barcode, kindly just write your question and we will answer it right now. So Ian, next is, how can the 2D barcode be scanned?
The 2D barcode can be scanned using a smartphone. You can also use other applications. We have the barcode scanner application. And to add on this, we also have our application, Hakikisha Bidhaa application, where you can download. Go to the QR code sector. Selecting that, you can scan the QR code and you'll see the various attributes that are touched on. These are the ingredients, the brand owner details, the product description, and so on.
Okay, thank you. So currently I'm seeing that a Mentimeter has been displayed on the screen. and kindly scan the QR code so that you can be able to interact with us. The question is, how are 2D barcodes different from 1D barcodes? And I can see that there are some people who are interacting. So please just scan the QR code so that you can be able to answer the polls that have been displayed for you on the screen. And once again, just a reminder is that the chat is open. So if you have any questions, anything that you haven't understood from Ian Mageto's presentation, please ask him any question and he's ready to answer. So up next is kindly share with us how we can download the Hakikisha Bidhaa app.
Our Hakikisha Bidhaa app is up and running. You can download it from the Google Play Store. You just search Hakikisha Bidhaa, you'll get the application, and we're sure it will be beneficial to you. Even when you go for shopping, you use it to verify the product so that you buy. And also, you can also use it to also scan the linear barcode, not only the QR code. You can also scan the linear barcode to verify products.
Okay, so just a quick reminder that kindly switch to speaker view so that you can be able to have a better experience throughout the Traceability Week, this session and the next sessions that are to come. And once again, we are live on Traceability TV. So if you'd like to share a segment of this event, kindly just tell them to go down there, subscribe to Traceability TV and watch from there. And also a reminder is that we will be posting the presenters' presentation on Traceability TV. So if you'd like to share it with your team or just get a refresher course on what was being taught throughout the entire event, you can just subscribe to Traceability TV and we will have all that ready for you. And once again, the chat is open. So if you have any questions, please write them, type them. Ian is here to answer. So last but not least, can you name attributes after scanning the 2D barcode?
Thank you so much. When you scan the QR code, assuming you're the consumer, you'll get various attributes. Number one is the product description. You'll see the product description of that particular product. You'll see the net weight of that particular product, the grammage or the liters of that particular product. You also get to see the brand owner of that particular product that you're using. You'll also get to see the brand name. There's a difference between the brand name and also the brand owner, because you have guys who are doing subcontracting and guys who are packaging for other manufacturers, which they're doing a good job for that. Then from there, you can also give a review and rate the product. And there's also where the manufacturer, you can include some of the recycling information. If you are using the plastics, you can inform the consumers on how to use plastics if you think that they can reuse the plastics or the packaging that the information you can have it embedded QR code. Also with the QR code, the consumer will see a survey that the manufacturer has implemented embedded in the QR code. And the surveys is basically to get more feedback from the consumers, and they can see other certifications and that you have partnered or that you have received from the regulators. All that is visible through a simple scan of the QR code. And last but not least, the marketing tool. If they are blessed with us, they can use the QR code for marketing their products with a short video of your upcoming product or your other products. And the reason why we do tell our members they should bless with us in terms of using the QR code or the 2D barcode as a marketing tool is because we realize that it's kind of cheaper. It's very cheap because we get to we're dealing with many manufacturers. It's GS1 Kenya. So with the citizens, as you saw in the slides, we are doing public awareness. We are telling the public when they go for shopping, can you scan the QR code? And through the public is when they get to see your the video that you have implemented. They will see your upcoming products and they will see your other products. And it is very efficient because we will also be using we also try our best to tell the consumers who are the public.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Do you kindly give us a parting shot before we close this session?
Okay, so the partition is please subscribe.
Subscribe to Traceability TV.
Traceability TV is actually a good station. They're giving Aqua Breeze water, which I love it so much. And I urge you and request you all to go ahead, download the Hakikisha Bidhaa app from Google Play Store to help you verify the products that you are relating with, that you're going to buy on retail, and also can assure you that the QR code with the 2D barcode, that's the future, that's where we're going. And till holds rich information, more information compared to other barcodes. And by 2030, we believe that you will get the implementation of the 2D button.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much again for that amazing presentation and answering all our questions. Now we are going into the second session, which will be presented by Rhoda Mose. And don't go anywhere, we're just taking a short break and then we dive deep into the world of traceability kwa shamba. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Sunbeat, Club 99. Why pay more? Mbona ulipe zaidi? Sunbeat, feel good every bite. Sunbeat, Club 99. Why pay more? Mbona ulipe zaidi? Sunbeat, feel good every bite. Sunbeat, Club 99.
This is the best water in Kenya. I'm not just saying this because I'm from here. I'm saying this because I've traveled all over the world and I've tried so many different types of water. There's no water that compares to the purity and the freshness of Aquabri. It's so pure. This is the best water in Kenya. I'm not just saying this because I'm from here. I'm saying this because I've traveled all over the world and I've tried so many different types of water. There's no water that compares to the purity.
Welcome back. We are now going into the second session of the day, and that is on the agricultural sector. And our second presenter is Rhoda Mose. So we should be exploring the power of traceability and return our focus to one of the most impactful applications, digitizing agriculture and building trust in operations. Joining us is Rhoda Mose, a passionate advocate for innovation in agribusiness and a key voice in the traceability conversation. Rhoda brings a wealth of experience in helping agribusiness bridge the gap between farm and fork, ensuring transparency, accountability, and trust at every stage of the supply chain. In her session, she'll explore how digitization is transforming agriculture and how traceability tools are building confidence among consumers, partners, and regulators alike. If you're in the agribusiness sector or simply passionate about food security and sustainability, this is a must-hear presentation. So give a warm welcome to Rhoda Mose.
GS1 operates under the GS1 competition law caution. Strict compliance with competition laws is and always has been the policy of GS1. The best way to avoid problems is to remember that the purpose of the group is to enhance the ability of all industry members to compete more efficiently. This means there shall be no discussion of prices, allocation of customers or products, boycotts, refusals to deal, or market share. If any participant believes the group is drifting towards impermissible discussion, the topic shall be tabled until the opinion of counsel can be obtained. The full caution is available via the link below if you'd like to read it in its entirety.
Thank you, Marianne. Today, I'm going to take us through agribusiness traceability, and we are going to talk about digitizing agriculture and building trust in operations. In the current state of operations, farmers use manual recording whereby they can use their memory to remember events, that is maybe when they did their farming activities and what they planted where. And also they use these records to put them down in a notebook or an exercise book for referral. And also they put registers to put in the casual workers' records. And for their payments, they use receipts. This poses a challenge for inaccurate data and also a need for traceability because there's no accountability of who wrote down the data when. There's also the use of calendars whereby the farmers record farm activities and the input application schedules. This is time consuming because they have to go sit down, scribble and circle on the dates on the calendars and just write something that happened. Maybe they pruned on that date, or they weeded, or they mulched, or irrigated. And for the next farming activity, there's no reminder. And even if it is in the back of their minds, there's no automation to this. And therefore, there's no backup and a reference point for the farm activities and the input application schedules to be done. Some farmers communicate their harvest volume through word of mouth, and their orders and sales do not have any records of the previous market value. And therefore, due to lack of records, there can be a miscommunication of this information since some farmers depend on their memories to relay this information. Therefore, when this information is relayed, there's no accountability and the data can be inaccurate, posing a challenge for traceability of this consumed product. Now, let us get into the main reason why we are here, digitizing of agriculture. What do we mean by this term? Digitizing of agriculture means using digital tools and technology to make farming more smarter, easier, and more efficient. This helps the farmers improve their farming processes, track their produce, and makes them more productive because they can look for many insights about how to farm, any diseases attacking their products, and from more produce and productivity leads to more profits and sustainable farming. I know most of us are very much conversant with digital tools at hand. This can include the mobile apps, whereby many people use the social media to advertise their produce, get new customers, get orders, and also get new contacts, just to say, and also sensors and the Internet of Things to check the temperature of the produce at the farms and all that, and the websites and cloud-based application to check into relatable things regarding market insights. Artificial intelligence and data tools also guide us in knowing what to do better next time or at this moment that you're doing the farming. And these produce, when they are ready, people post them in the digital marketplaces for them to attract buyers and for them to get orders. Many people have been benefiting from the agri-finance institutions that give them the financial capabilities of doing their agriculture in a more productive and sustainable way. So today we are going to talk about 3 digital tools, 2 which are already in place, whereby I'll start with the social media applications, whereby most of us have already seen. When you click into a social media application, you can see there's a person is selling maybe produce with quantity located at a different place that gives us the order details. And also, a farmer who has taken those pictures has used this social media application to market their produce. In the farm, while doing their activities, the farmers are able to access the prices, therefore they know what to plant next, and also the market insights on anything that they're supposed to do best to their produce so that they can be more productive. And any feedback in case they've sold these orders, they're able to get it through these social media apps. And therefore, it is just a buyer to the farmer connectivity without any formality and any traceability in the data that's being channeled through the social media application. And I'm pretty sure you've also heard about the scams, whereby a person poses with a piece of land or produce packaged, and then it is all a facade. So we are unable to authenticate if this produce is really there, if this person really has this farm, where the location they are saying, if it is really the accurate one, and also if I'm ordering this produce through the social media applications, I cannot authenticate the product quality. So I might not get what I have seen in the pictures. And this is a major challenge using social media applications to do the order, farmer buyer linkage, and also produce identification through just checking the pictures, just seeing mere data in the applications for us to know if this food is safe for us to consume. In efforts of digitizing payments, there are local and international mobile money service providers that enable direct transactions, mobile to bank transactions, mobile to mobile transactions, bank to bank transactions to facilitate this currency movement. However, there is a limitation whereby SMS confirmation can be the only backup and reference to these payments that have been done in regards to the produce. In regards to the current manual and digital agricultural operations, There is a huge traceability gap in the data available and accessible out there. This data lacks completeness, whereby some of the manual records done can be scattered and causing fragmentation of this information is such a huge deal due to missing details and also lack of a standard checkout checklist for the records. Therefore, for us to digitize this information from the manual processes and also to use these digital tools that have been said, we have to have a standard record checklist to show that this information meets certain standards for it to be traceable, trackable, and also produce food safety options. There's also lack of consistency in this data, whereby different farm operators have different literacy levels. They can write things differently. Be it farm activities, they have maybe a way to reference them. Be it the operations or when these things were done. Also, coding of the dates, maybe in the date, month, year, or year, month, date can cause such a confusion due to the writing of this information differently. And also for the literacy level, maybe most of them do not relate at the same level. So there's no standard language or measurement of this information if it meets a certain criteria for it to be consistent. And when handing over to another farm operator, it's going to pose a huge challenge of the data consistency. Due to no validation of this written data and also the digital tools, there is a lack of credibility since there is no reference point for this data that has been written. And many things can happen to data. It can be changed, data can get lost, maybe through the manual records and all that. And when this happens and there are discrepancies in the farm, every person wants to be not related to this data. So there's no proof of ownership of this given data. And therefore, completeness, consistency, and credibility of data is a must. And this can be implemented and enhanced by using of digital tools. Additionally, consumers' demands for transparency and traceability has increased. When they consume their produce at the table, consumers want to know who grew this produce. Is it from a specific region? And where is this farm where this produce was grown? And is it like really a real farm? And also, what inputs were kept into this produce? And for the fertilizers and maybe the water, manure, is it organic, inorganic? And does this inputs make this produce good for me to consume? And also, when was this produce harvested and stored, and many other things? That is, for example, in regards to aflatoxin infection and contamination. When maize are harvested and stored in a poor condition, it attracts the moisture that makes this maize unsafe for people's consumption. So this information of who, that is the grower, where this produce was grown, that is the farm, and what the inputs were kept into the produce, and when this produce was harvested is very critical to be given out there and made accessible to the consumer. And even if there is some of these records, maybe the manual records or through the digital tools, that maybe you can get the order information and quantities or somewhere to reference to in the manual records, is there a way that you can verify that this information is true? And the accountability of who wrote it down and everything that will make me feel safe and you at your place when you're consuming this produce feel safe to consume this safe food for good health. From the manual records, current digital tools, and also the data information that's given out to the public, they all pose a huge challenge, the traceability challenge. And now here in this discussion, I'm going to explain to you how digitization of this information gives us the traceability that we need for us to feel safe while consuming the produce that are at our tables. So, to understand this traceability and how it is used in the agribusiness sector, we are going to use a use case for the plantain value chain. At the plantain value chain, we start at the propagation and nursery area. We need to know who planted these seeds, where were they planted? Did they like have a house or a label for showing this is the nursery or the propagation area? And then when were they planted? The dates. What inputs were used in these seeds for their growth and things like that. And then how can we verify this information? So from there, the next thing we are going to know is the planting. Who will plant the seedlings after they have already grown? What inputs will be used in the planting, be it manure, dry leaves, soil, and also how will this information for the planting be verified, and where will it be planted? Is it a block? Is it the whole farm? Variety, is it going to be in bulk form? And lastly, we are going to know about the crop management. That is majorly for us to know how is this crop going to be managed, the inputs, what the person is going to apply, the applicator, the person in charge of that crop, the growth rate, and the successful thing that has gone with this crop since it was a seedling up to now that it has become a good crop. After the crop has been taken from the farm or the block, it has managed well, and it is now time for fruits or cherries or beans. That is the last product that's supposed to be taken from the farm. We have to check the harvesting date. Who harvested it? The quantity of what was harvested, where it was located, and also any information that makes this crop like relatable to the seedling, the seed, and how it was managed for it to be a good harvest crop. So from there, it will go to the post-harvest handling, whereby we are supposed to check the handling processes, any person who is in charge of the process itself, and also details in regards to this process. Maybe it's supposed to be handled different from another. And lastly, the logistics person who is supposed to take this produce to take to the distribution centers or the buyers. We're supposed to know who is in charge, where they're located, how can we like identify them, what vehicle they are using for this order delivery. Is there a checkout for the quantity, the variety, and all that? From the logistics, these products are taken to the distribution and the warehouse center, whereby we are supposed to know the locations of these points and the person who is transporting them, the buyer details, the one they ordered, and the quantity that was ordered, is it the right one? And the transport that was used, is it the one that has been used to distribute it? And any other information about the distribution center that will make us know that this is the right product for this buyer and for it to be taken to the next stage, that can be the retail or the value addition. In cases like plantain, this produce can be done value addition, whereby it can be cut, dried, and be sold like plantain crisps, be it salted, tomato, spicy, whichever way. And also, when this product is taken to the retail or the wholesaler, we will have to know about the retail store, the location, the person is in charge, the products that they get in from the distribution place. And at the plantain value addition area, we're supposed to know the method of processing, quantity processed, who processed this information, and the product type that came at last. So the final person to have this product is the consumer who will have them at their plate. And this key information from the propagation and nursery to the planting, to the harvesting, to the crop management, post-harvest handling, logistics, distribution, value addition, the warehouse and retail stores, supply chain information is very critical for this end consumer to know that these products that they are consuming is good traceable, safe for their health, and also will give them nutrition value. Now, let's take a look at how GS1 standards are used in this plantain value chain. And by standards, I'll start by one, the global location number, also known as GLN. It will be used to identify location in this plantain value chain. That include the propagation units and the nursery blocks where this produce is going to be planted. That is the farm or the blocks. There's also the distribution areas, the retail areas, and finally the consumer destinations. So with this, secondly, it is important for us to first note that we need to have a location of where this produce is being handled for us to make sure that this information is traceable with the responsible people, and also it can be traced back to whoever handled it in case of food recalls or in case of good work done on the produce, and also for us to be sure on first, safe consumption of food that is healthy and also nutritious, and secondly, traceability. GS1 standards are majorly used to identify, capture, and share. GLN, as explained, is one of the standards that is used to identify a location. Now we are going to speak about a global trade item number, that is the GTIN. The GTIN is used to uniquely identify products and their varieties. This can include seeds, pesticides, fertilizers, the farm produce, and it can also be used with the batch and lot number to identify batches. Moving on, there is the Global Individual Asset Identifier, also known as GI. This is used to identify specific assets that are used in the farm, be it the trays, be it the irrigation pumps, sprayers, any applicators, machineries, the trolleys, any asset that is intended to be used at the farm level that belongs to this specific farm, and this produce or product can be identified with for us to know how it was grown and what works were done on it. We then have the Serial Shipping Containers Code. This is the SSCC. It is majorly used to identify logistic units. For example, a pallet of freshly harvested mangoes or a crate. And maybe, let's take it from this level. One mango that is packed as a unit, maybe 50 kg, that is put in a carton, and then this carton is put in a crate, and then this crate is placed on pallet. All these stages and units of packaging and the levels of packaging are going to be identified by the SSCC, and this is a label that will be placed at the packaging levels for us, at the final packaging levels for us to know how to identify this specific produce and with what quantities. We have spoken about identification as one of the roles of GS1 standards. Now I'd like for us to speak about this data and how it can be captured through the identifiers. And so now we're going to speak about the 2D, two-dimensional, or the QR code, as famously known. And the QR code for GS1 is a dynamic QR code that you can put in more details about the SSCC, GTINs, GLNs, the DI, and every other standard that has been applicable in the whole value chain for the plantain. And therefore, this QR code is used to encode standardized data that will enable this product traceability, the transparency, and the consumer engagement. That is, a consumer can scan this QR code and get all this information of the supply chain and what the plantain, or if it has undergone value addition, what happened and who handled the whole process. And therefore, this scan for the QR code, it is more than just a scan. One scan infinite possibilities, whereby storing rich scannable data about the origin, journey, and the quality of the farm produce that's being consumed at the table is evident by just a scan. If you do have a smartphone, kindly scan the QR code on the screen for you to see how applicable the GS1 QR code is. You'll find more information about our efforts in fresh foods and also about our major topic today. Now that you've identified this data in the farm and the plantain value chain using our standards, that is the global location number, the global trade item number, serial shipping containers code. There's also the global individual asset identifier. And we have shown how to capture this data using our dynamic QR code. I would like for us to know how to capture this information and what's best, but not sure how to share it out there. So, allow me to introduce you to Shamba Econet, our innovation in the agribusiness sector. It is a farmer's digital link to the digital market that enables the farmer access both local and international market by use of our standards and digital record keeping. To access this website, you need to visit www.shambaeconet.com and you will find features of this platform, this website platform, having 3 portals, that is as a farmer, a logistics person, and a buyer. And just to highlight, we are going to delve into the farmer's portal, but this platform, not only does it link the farmer to the digital market, it also connects the farmer and the buyer through the logistics person. Credible information depends on who keys it in. And in our case, in the agribusiness sector, the farmer is the most critical personnel to give out this information. And for you to join as a farmer into the Shamba Econet, you'll have to visit www.shambaeconet.com, register and create an account, then confirm your registration via email, and then you log in. When you've logged in, you'll find the farms, the farm hub, products, farmers, workers, orders, sales, profile at the navigation bar. But our interest today will be how to add the farm group if you belong to a certain group, that is the farm hub section. And also if you have farms or a farm, how to add farmers and the farm workers into this site. Also, we are going to talk about how to add products under your farm in a farm under a farm hub. Let's go there. Having registered your account, your farm group, your farm, or the number of farms that you have, now we are going to talk about how to add your products. And here is where we are going to talk about most of the critical things that really matters to the consumer. And when you access the section, add a product, you'll add a new product, any batch that you feel or you can verify that is ready for harvest, and any weekly updates from the propagation time to the planting to the harvest. All that information is given under add update in the product section. And also in case of any inputs, organic or inorganic, it is good for you to clarify, because different consumers have different needs for their produce. Using Shamba Econet as a system is one great way of digitizing agriculture. And therefore, apart from digitizing all the processes, locations, the items, the produce, the inputs, and being able to verify it, identify it also using our standards and capturing it using QR codes, Shamba Econet poses a very great benefit to us. That is first, as you've seen, there's the farmers, logistics, and the buyers portal. And therefore, farmers are directly linked to the buyers through the logistics who are verified on the system. And therefore, these farmers, when they get this information onto the system, they are able to dictate the value for their produce. Because as consumers, we are able to see what took place, where, when, and what input was used. So that will make viable for the prices that the farmers put there on the system for us to accept and also act as a source of income to them. So this gives us accessibility of quality data through the system, and the payment that was done using the receipts and all that, it is going to be a real-time payment. That means the money that the buyers purchase the products with will get to the farmers. So having enabled digitization through Shamba Econet, we give out to food traceability that is going to give us a great food safety for nutritional and also healthy produce for us to consume. And we'll be there out vouching for digitization because it is here, it is working, and we are with it. To recap this conversation, I'd like for us to talk about the current processes and the solution that Shamba Econet bring in digitization. So we can see papers, registers, calendars, and also memory being a manual record for the current agricultural processes has been substituted to using structured digital records that can be traced and verified. Scattered records that come from data loss, fragmented, missing details, literacy level, and unstructured, standardized way of putting this information has been made centralized, and this data has been linked through the system. Also, the greatest question and gap for traceability has been covered and fully shown how to be implemented using the standards, identifications, identifiers, and also how to capture it, and now sharing through Shamba Econet. When putting data for these products using the manual records, it just gives us a leeway to sell in the local market. And therefore, this information being out there in the public that can be traced and verified gives a national and also an international market linkage. It is difficult for us to monitor information that has been manually recorded, and therefore, dashboards that are being utilized in the Shamba Econet system are good for us to see the farm hubs that are available under an account, the products, the farms, the sales, the orders, and give us a good report about our produce and the ordering and everything else for us to stay on our toes and to have sustainable agricultural farming and practices. The gospel has been preached, and now it is time for action. You as a farmer, logistics person, and buyer, you've seen how Shamba Econet as a platform is very useful if implemented. And now I call upon you to come and join the digitization movement on board on Shamba Econet by visiting www.shambaeconet.com and making digitization work for me, for you, and for everyone for a safe, nutritious, traceable data produce information that will give us a leeway to having good health and also nutrition in our lives. So I'd like for us to scan the QR code on the screen to go through all the information that I've spoken about, and also for you to learn a thing or two more so that you can go out there and preach the gospel of digitization using Shamba Econet. As you've heard, I was your presenter, Rhoda Mose, in charge of fresh foods here at GS1 Kenya. And on the screen is our contact information. In case you want to reach out and know more on how we can work together, please feel free to do so through the email and the contact numbers shown on the screen. And thank you so much for listening to me. And I hope that you've learned a thing or two and you're going to embrace it and implement it in the best way possible. And I'm going to see you on the other side. That is the Shamba Econet system.
Thank you, Rhoda, for that eye-opening presentation on digitizing agriculture. You have truly highlighted the importance of digitization when it comes to the agribusiness sector.
Yes, I have, and I'm pretty sure that you've enjoyed listening to me and the insights that I've shared. And I'm so glad to be here today.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, for those who are just joining us, and just to continue with our program, we'll have a very brief interview here with Rhoda, and she'll be able to share more insights on what you've just learned today about Shamba Econet and more, just a little bit deeper on the agribusiness sector. Now, before we begin, I'd like to remind you a few things. Number one, kindly switch to speaker view so that you can have a better experience of what me and Rhoda have to share here with you today. And also, just a reminder, our chat is open. So if you have any questions for Rhoda, if you're from the agribusiness sector or just as a consumer watching this right now, if you have questions for Rhoda on her presentation, she is ready to answer them. She has all the knowledge in the world and she's ready to unpack them here with you. And secondly, we'd like to inform you that yes, we are live on Traceability TV, and the presentation that you just watched here today and all the other presentations that you watched throughout the week will be available on Traceability TV. So if you'd like to just go and get a refresher course on everything that is Shamba Econet, you can just go down to Traceability TV, subscribe to the channel, and watch what we have to offer down there. And again, I'd like to display the Mentimeter. We had it earlier in our earlier session, and we'll have it now right now. I can see that it's almost been shared. So you scan the QR code that is on your screen, and maybe just to the question that is being currently shared is, have you implemented any form of digitization in your agribusiness activities? So kindly just scan the QR code that is currently being displayed on your screen with your smartphone, then engage with us and answer the question so that we can be able to interact better. Don't forget the chat box is open. If you have any question, please type it out. We are ready to ask and answer. So Rhoda, why digitization in the agribusiness sector?
Well, for starters, thank you so much for that question.
Yes.
And we currently live in a digital world.
Yes.
I don't know if we can remember where we stored books that we used when we were starting our studies.
Remember?
Or maybe we can rely on our memories regarding information like space.
Yes.
We can just maybe say random things that you can remember but not the specifics.
Yes.
Also, in regards to the farmer, you can tell like a lot of them are not that much literate. And they have relied so much on the manual side of putting records, that is using of their memories, writing down in books, exercise books, and also the receipts when it comes to payment, which they tend to lose at some point because of the engagement to the farm. And also sometimes when we engage in the manual way, maybe use of calendars, you cannot write as much information in the calendars. That is what you did on your farm. And the consumers right now want to know all that. But when you go back, you just find memory that a person did this. I put these inputs on the farm. I did this, I used these tools. And then the consumer does not get that information because majorly you're just relying on the person's memory. And the books, maybe they are scattered, is fragmented, this information and missing details. So it is so good for us to now move into digitalization because we can get all that information as you see on Shamba Econet. We can get all of it from the farmer's side up to the buyer's side through and through without any cuts or any discrepancies herein. So that being said, I think digitalization is the way, and here we're living in the way. So why not?
Okay, so just a reminder, if you have any questions for Rhoda, because she is very brilliant when it comes to agribusiness sector, and I'm sure she'll have answers for you. So if you have any question, please write it down on the chat box and she'll be ready to answer them. And again, our Mentimeter is on, and you can just QR code that has been displayed on your screen. It is the boxes and the dots that you can currently see. And the question that is there is asked, have you implemented any form of digitization in your agribusiness activities? So if you even have a small shamba in the back of your house, that is agribusiness. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So please answer that question. Is it a yes? Is it a no? And then we also have another question, which is, which GS1 standard is used to identify the source or location of production, like a farm or facility? Rhoda touched on that on her presentation. So if you are keen, you know the answer. So kindly just scan the QR code and you'll be able to interact with us. Don't forget, our chat box is open, and any question, we are ready to answer. And at the same time, if you'd like to watch more videos on food traceability, we at Traceability TV, our YouTube channel, we have all those videos that will be able to explain even more on traceability and food traceability in the agribusiness sector. Now, Rhoda, let's continue on with our conversation. Can you explain the GS1 digitization process?
Well, I'd start with say that our core business as GS1 Kenya is to identify, capture, and share information. We manage data using traceability systems and traceability networks. And for identification in the digitization process of agribusiness, we'll start with the farmer side, whereby we get to identify the farmer, their land, what inputs they're using, the activities, as it has been shown in the video. And also, if they're in any farm group, their location, and if they're distributing to anyone. We also get to identify this person who's going to transport this produce, maybe from the farmer up to the buyer, and we identify them using our standards. And also the buyer, the destination where they are at. And so I'll start the location part. When we identify the location of these farms that we're having, we identify with the global location number, so that you can get like the accuracy, that is the longitude and the latitude in regards to the location.
Yeah.
We also get to identify where the farmer, like the portions of lands that they have. So if they have multiple farms, they can add that to the system and name them as farm A, farm B, or other roots farm, whichever creative way that they can name the farms. So it gives them like a digital record on how to keep track of the farms that they have and where they're located. Whatever produce that they're going to grow, we also identify that. In what quantities are they willing to sell out there? So the products are also added into the system after adding the farm groups that they're in, the farms that they're having, and the products that they're growing, fresh produce, horticulture, any produce that they're having on their farms that can give them that can help them generate income, we identify that. And then this system also gives us a leeway for us to see the sales that they're making, the orders that are coming in. So it is like everything into the system, it's just made better. So after identifying the location, we identify the produce using the global trade item number, that is the GTIN. And from there, going to the logistics person, we can identify the logistics or the crates or the cartons using the SSCC as a unit. That's the logistics unit. And then we go to the assets. Do they have like jembes? They have like rigs that they use in the farm. We use a global identifier called yes, we do global individual asset. And then when it comes to capturing all this data, we capture it using the QR code. That is why we say that it is possible for the consumer to get all this information, because the QR codes that you use as GS1 Kenya, they are dynamic. You can put as much information in as much as you can use the GT for trading. That is now identification of the products. This QR code, you can put like as much information, including the farmer, where they're located, what they're planting, if they have like multiple produce that they're planting on their shambas. So from there, the buyer, when you go buy something into the supermarket, grocery store, you can scan the QR code and get all that information. And this information is reliable because the farmer is the one who's like accustomed to put all this information into the system. So yeah, the question can arise level of the farmer. Yes. We undergo all that through the training. If there's no one who's like maybe able to put that information into the system, we go there, train them on how to do 1, 2, 3. And if it is possible for us to be on ground to have them key in this information, we do that. Our role is to make this information video consistent, complete, and credible. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I mean, as you can see, traceability is a necessity when it comes to any in the modern era. Anyone who has a business or just for like what we're talking about right now, if you're a farmer or even know of a farmer, we at GS1 Kenya, we trace it down to the rake and to then the type of soil, right?
Yes,
and
yes,
the location. You've been asked by the Mentimeter what standard is used to identify the location, and that is, I mean, should we give them the answer? Surely, I think we should. That's the global location number. Yeah, so the global location number is something that is used to map the avocado tree, the mango tree, everything that is in your farm. So just again to remind you, if you have any questions, this session is ongoing. So if you have any questions for our presenter here, kindly ask them and we will have the answers. And at the same time, please, the Mentimeter is on, and if you have it, just scan the QR code and you'll be able to interact with us. And the next question maybe is coming up, and that will be and just scan the QR code and you'll be able to interact with us better. And I just to remind you, if you want to watch the Rhoda's presentation once again, just go down to Traceability TV and we will have that presentation ready for you. We have so many documentaries. We also do news segments every Sunday. So just subscribe to Traceability TV, give us a like and a share, and turn on that notification button so that you can be able to dive deep into the world of traceability every single day. And then now, Rhoda, for the next question would be, what's next?
I mean, the gospel has already been preached, so we know what's next.
Yeah.
Digitization is here, in as much as we tend to ignore or assume it's not.
Yeah.
And when it gets to safety, our food safety, our health depends on food.
Yeah.
And if we do not know where this food is coming from, then who are we to question? So what next means, what do we intend to do as a consumer out there, as a farmer, as a logistics person? Are we willing to give out this information so that the general public can confide in what we serve? Are we like willing to ask for this information as a consumer? Are we willing to ask, where did this managu come from, or where did this? Because when we get down to our health risks, food is a great part.
Yes.
It's a very critical part. So when we start asking these questions, when we start allowing ourselves to give out this information out there, we open a living for traceability. And this means that most of these food security incidents are going to minimize, if not end, but we hopefully hope that they will end. They're going to minimize. The farmers are going to gain like a huge access there, because nowadays even the international markets ask for traceability aspects. So they're going to get a huge aspect. And if you're going to use Shamba Econet in this case, you have the ability to dictate your own price for the product. If you're a farmer, and you have credible information of how you grew it. So it poses like a huge advantage out there from the farmer to the consumer, the logistics person, the policy makers. All of us, we should vote for this traceability in everything we do. Not just in the agribusiness sector, but everywhere. And that's why GS1 Kenya, we are here to help you out.
Okay, yes. Just to add just a few things is that here at GS1 Kenya, we are all about traceability. Even our YouTube channel that you should subscribe to is called Traceability TV. And food is quite important, because before you use even your teaspoon of honey on your bread, or even you eat that skuma wiki with your ugali, do you really know where the wheat came from? Do you know how the skuma wiki was planted? What fertilizers were used? And that's what Rhoda is here to explain to us today. Up next, we're going to talk about Shamba Econet, and you're going to explain to me and our viewers out there. You've presented about it, but just give us a bigger version of it and explain what Shamba Econet is, so that we can be able to understand better. And before we go there, we have the chat is open, so if you have any questions, kindly just type them out. Rhoda is here to stay, but she will go and you won't have your question asked. So kindly just ask as many questions as you have. We truly want to engage with our viewers, and we thank you so much for tuning in, so that we can be able to help you understand more about why traceability is important to you, not only as a business owner, a retail expert, agribusiness, logistics, but just as even a human being living in this Kenya. So up next, now, Rhoda, can you just explain what now Shamba Econet is?
Well, I've explained about identifying using our standards.
Yes.
I've explained about capturing this information using a QR code that one can scan using a smartphone.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the need for us to have all this information, capture it, and then identify it and not share it out there? We advocate for sharing, openness of this information out there. So that is why Shamba Econet is here. Shamba Econet is a web-based platform. Sorry about that. It's a web-based platform that is there online. When you visit www.shambaeconet.com, you get to see the platform itself, and then the landing page will be about GS1 Kenya. Obviously, when you scroll down, you're going to find the features. That is the farmer, the logistics person, and the buyer. If you go into the nitty-gritty, now into the farmer's portal, after you've registered, you've gotten your email confirmation, and then you've given the email of logging in. When you go into the farmer's portal, you find that you can add a farm hub. A farm hub is basically a farm group, a society, a cooperative. A person is in charge of making sure that you're planting the right thing on ground.
Yeah.
That is a farmer. A person who you can aggregate your produce with. That is now a farm hub. So from this farm hub, you can add now your farm. For example, GS1 Kenya is the farm hub. I am a farmer, you are a farmer. Now we can add our farms. You get that?
Yes.
And then from there, I'm planting different things or similar things, and you're also planting the same thing or a similar thing. So from there, we get to add our products. From this product, we get to put any information in. Have I fertilized, have I used fertilizer today? Or have I used any organic manure, inorganic manure, any tools? Like add updates to this specific product. When this product is ready, we get to see it as a batch. For me as a buyer, when I buy, I click about the product information, I get you as a farmer and everything that you do to this product. So all of this is being done through the system, from the identification of the product, the farmer and the farm hub and their locations. And any product that's going to be sold through the system, any order that as a buyer I'm going to order from you as a farmer, anything that I'm going to do through the system, it's going to be traced. So you're going to see it move from me to yes to you. Yes, directly. So there's no any information that's going to be cut.
Yeah.
You're going to see everything from scratch up to the end using our standards, which are very much reliable, because we get to be on the ground sometimes to make things happen. And that's why we give out credible information up there. For us, for the farmer who's going to put this information about the products in the system to get the highest market price, for them to decide it's their own, for them to be linked with the logistics person and the buyer, for them to get that payment that they deserve, because it is there and we can get it as farmers, and also as a buyer, you can get food that you can rely on, food that's good for your health, nutrition, and your safety. So Shamba Econet is all about making traceable information about agribusiness accessible to everyone. And this information to help us make better decisions. And also for the farmers to get better pricing for their produce, because we can rely on the information that they're giving us.
Okay. Yes. So much. Okay, before Rhoda gives her parting shot, I'd like to remind you that this session is live on Traceability TV, so you can go watch it there. Or even if you want to share more insights and get more insights on traceability, kindly just go subscribe to Traceability TV, and you have so much wealth of information there. So please subscribe to Traceability TV. And thank you to our sponsors who have sponsored the Traceability Week event 2025. Buyers, Bakers, Sunbeat, and Aquabase. Thank you so much for that. And now, Rhoda, can you kindly give us a parting shot?
As I always say, traceability is the future, and we are in the future.
Yeah.
So traceability is here. We should all join the digitization movement, all on board to Shamba Econet to see all these benefits that you can get. All advocate for GS1 standards and push to ask questions that determine our next. So thank you so much for joining me and listening to this discussion. And I hope to see you on the other side of Shamba Econet. Let's on board, let's join this movement and let's make it happen for all of us. Yes.
Wow, thank you. Isn't she brilliant? She's answered all the questions so wonderfully and she's given us so many insights on Shamba Econet. So if you really want to know more about Shamba Econet, it is really a brilliant innovation by GS1 Kenya. Rhoda is here and she's ready to onboard everyone in Kenya and the world. So thank you so much. We'll be right back. Wow, what a phenomenal way to start Traceability Week 2025. Our theme was a new renaissance. So to our CEO and our General Manager, Eva Bulu, thank you for setting the tone and vision for this important journey. It continues to shape the future of traceability in Kenya and beyond. To our incredible presenters, Ian Mageto, who presented on the evolution of 1D to the 2D barcode, and Rhoda Mose, who was just right here talking to us about digitizing the agribusiness sector. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights on the evolution of barcodes and the digitization of the agricultural sector. Your expertise has left us all more informed, more inspired, and truly we are ready to take action. I know our audience is. So to everyone who has tuned in to day one of Traceability Week, we are truly thankful and you have participated and scanned the Metimeter. Thank you so much. You are the reason why this week matters to us at GS1 Kenya. Your presence and your engagement today show that traceability is not just a concept, it's something that is a commitment, it is a necessity in all the sectors that we have. So remember, all today's sessions will be available on Traceability TV on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe and rewatch and share the knowledge. share it to your team, share it to other people who may have missed or feel like they will gain more from watching what we had to offer here today. So tomorrow, we continue and we have even more powerful sessions. We will go to the healthcare sector with Nelson John, we'll go to the construction sector and also the retail sector, followed with Redan Vitao. So they'll be offering fresh perspectives and live discussions that will take us deeper into sustainability, technology, and sector-specific traceability strategies. So rest up and charge your devices and come back ready, because if you think today was impactful, tomorrow will be even better. This was only day one and we're just getting started. So tomorrow, wake up bright and early. We'll be here at 9 a.m. EAT and we'll be ready to trace forward. As always, I will be your host, Miriam Munyoki, and this traceability week is powered by GS1 Kenya. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sunbeat Club 99. Why pay more? Mbona ulipe zaidi? Sunbeat, feel good every bite.
This is the best water in Kenya. I'm not just saying this because I'm from here. I'm saying this because I've traveled all over the world and I've tried so many different types of water. There's no water that compares to the pure